Good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Okay, not quite sure here. All right, I think we've started. Good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Monica Corrado here, the Gap Chef, here to answer your questions about anything gaps. I am a certified nutrition consultant. I'm a teaching chef, and I am the Gap Chef. And of course, a certified GAPS practitioner. So I'm here to help you understand GAPS a little bit better and to answer any questions that you might have. All right, so today I thought I would go ahead and talk a little bit about bloating. I did have a question about bloating last week. Let's get a little bit more. Here we go. I did have a question about bloating last week and cramping, and I thought I would just start talking about that. Hello, Leonie. Oh, I'm not going to start talking about anything until I tell you that I am not a medical doctor. And so my desire in these videos is to accurately represent the GAPS diet, gut and psychology syndrome, yellow book, gut and physiology syndrome, blue book. Yes, to accurately represent that information and to answer your questions so that you can do GAPS with ease. All right, so hello to everyone. Hello, Claude. Hello, Leonie. I know we're getting used to this new time and I'm missing a lot of folks because I'm not earlier. But here we are. At least we are having the lives. I really love the lives and I appreciate them. And I appreciate your being here. All right. Hello, Monica. Hello, Sandy. How's everyone doing over there, wherever you may be? Happy to have you with me. All right, so let's talk a little bit about bloating, and then we'll talk about whatever else you would like to talk about. So, bloating. When does bloating happen? So when you're on the GAPS diet, bloating can happen for several reasons. One of them is when we bring in new probiotic foods. Another one is probiotic foods like cultured dairy or fermented foods or fermented tonics, cabbage tonic, beet kvass, etc. Anything that has a live probiotic in it. Anything that has live, beautiful, beneficial bacteria or live, beautiful, beneficial yeast, you can have bloating. Why would you have bloating then? You would have bloating because you're bringing in new microbes and they are, for lack of a better term, battling the pathogenic microbes, and the pathogens will die off. As you come to balance in your gut, the bloating will go down and no big whoop. So I always suggest to people to look at bloating in a way that it's telling you that you're actually achieving some new microbial balance in the diet. So once you start adding in cultured dairy and lactoferments, tonics, etc., you should experience a little bit of bloating because that bloating is telling you that you're making a difference in the microbial landscape, a positive difference. So it's not something you should be worried about, and it is, of course, I'm always saying don't worry about anything. No worrying allowed. Worrying does not help you heal, pardon me. So, it is something that will give you some information, just like every symptom does. It's the body talking to you. So bloating is telling you, hey, you're making a difference in the microbial balance in the gut. Yay! That's what we want. And that bloating should calm down after a while. After a couple of days, certainly after 2 or 3 or 5 days of bringing in some new probiotic-rich food. All right, that's one way, one reason for bloating. And as I said, that's bloating that happens naturally, normally, as a result of adding in new microbes. There's another kind of bloating that happens, and it happens when we feed pathogens. So funny, good guys, bad guys, pathogens, beneficial. Dr. Natasha even talks about opportunistic microbes. So when we eat too much sugar, and we remember that sugar is anything that's not fat or protein, right? 3 macronutrients: protein, fat, carbohydrate. Another word for carbohydrate is sugar. So when we eat too much sugar, whether it's, certainly when you're on the standard American diet, whether it's grains or beans or pasta or pizza or bagels or fruit, when we're on the GAPS diet, fruit, nuts, usually fruit and nuts, are the culprits of feeding pathogens, usually yeast that love sugar. And when they grow, they give off toxins, gas, toxic gas. So if you're bloating on the GAPS diet, and it's not because you're adding in good probiotic food, and it is because you are eating too much fruit or too many carbs, too many nuts, too many seeds, too much nut butter, then you want to cut that out. You want to starve the pathogens. That's what you do to win the battle, right? We starve pathogens, we starve them out, and then we overrun them. I know these are not very good analogies, but I hope you're following. With new microbes, beneficial yeast, etc. So if you're bloating, it may be because you're eating too much sugar, aka carbohydrate. There's another reason you could bloat, and that is because you have an overabundance of yeast. And these yeasts give off gas, and gas makes you bloat. So you all know, I hope, that we do not go after the yeasts in GAPS. We do not target them. We don't single them out. We go for balance. We bring in the good microbes. We starve out the pathogens, all of them, anyone who would be feeding on sugar, and then we bring balance to the system. We remember, I hope, that yeasts are hoovers. Sorry, Dr. Natasha calls them hoovers. That's an old vacuum cleaner company. Maybe they're still around, Hoover, I don't remember. But hoovers are the vacuum cleaners of toxins, right? So yeasts, we like yeasts. We just want the beneficial yeasts as opposed to the pathogenic yeasts. There's one more reason. So that I've already talked about 3 reasons why we bloat, right? The 4th reason why we bloat is because we have the fermentation or putrefaction, love that word, of food in the gut. That means, what is that? So protein putrefies, animal protein, when it's not ferments, putrefies, breaks down, gives off really smelly gas. So if you have smelly gas, your flatulence is smelly. That's showing you that you have low stomach acid. So please take a look at the stomach acid test that's sitting on our page up in featured posts. That could really, really help you. Perhaps telling you that yes, in fact, the reason you have smelly gas is because you're not breaking down your protein efficiently. And so how do we fix that? We raise the production of hydrochloric acid in the stomach. You can do that with bitters. You could do that with an HCl betaine supplement. I prefer to start with bitters, especially with children, or with sauerkraut and sauerkraut juice prior to a meal. If the gas is not smelly, but you're having a lot of bloating and gas, that is carbohydrates that are not being efficiently broken down in your GI tract. So, usually that calls for enzymes, digestive enzymes. I think that's probably enough for now. I was trying to go over why is it that we bloat, because a lot of people have questions about that. I do not, I suggest you not worry about bloating if you're bloating as a result of eating more probiotic foods. That bloating will calm down if you just pace yourself, right? You bring in more probiotic food and then you same amount, day 1, day 2, day 3, bloat, bloat, bloat. Oh, day 4, no bloating. Yahoo! Let's add some more in, right? So don't be concerned about that. If it's these other issues, if it's, again, due to inefficient protein digestion, that's a stomach acid issue. Usually it's also chewing. Everybody chew your food. If it's due to carbohydrates fermenting in the gut, that's usually a digestive enzyme issue. Otherwise, we're looking at yeast and too much sugar in the diet. Again, these are in general, for the most part. It's not all the answers, yeah? All right, so that's my little talk about bloating. I hope it's helpful. And I'll take any other questions, any questions that you have at this time about that or anything else. All right, let's see. Hello, Rebecca. Woohoo! Hello, everyone. Yay! Hello, Kathleen. Good to have you with us. Sandy, everybody. Claude, yes, everyone's here. Hooray, hooray. Sandy wants to know, what about heartburn? I have bouts of it on and off with heartburn and had it brutally when pregnant. Well, heartburn when pregnancy has a lot to do, usually, with the weight of the child on the stomach. So that's physiological. In terms of heartburn on gaps, that is usually due to low stomach acid. So do the stomach acid test. It can also be due to paralysis of the esophageal sphincter. Say that once fast. By yeast, pathogenic yeast that hold that sphincter open, and then you have heartburn. So these are the two reasons why people would have heartburn. All right, let's see what else. Monica says, wow, Monica, you have a million things here. So I'll take one, and then I'll go to other people, and then I'll take another, I'll go to other people. Okay. Monica says, itching blisters scattered across multiple skin areas on my body reappear cyclically. Shingles, herpes zoster, neck, underbreast, abdomen. What do you recommend in this regard? Lysine. Can this symptom explain the recent exacerbation of my belly bloating? So, a couple things. One is when we have skin blisters or skin lesions, skin problems of any kind, skin issues, eczema, blisters, blah, blah, blah. The skin is a major detox organ. And so always where I start is, and I'm sure you're already doing this, Monica, but I always start with more detoxification supports. More detoxification supports to help the body detoxify so that it's not trying to pour so many things through the skin. So, what are those things? Those are coffee enemas, colonics, castor oil pack, Gap shakes, beet greens, beets, beet kvass, anything that will support the liver. Usually, again, This is outside of my training with GAPS, but I will share it here. Usually when we have things like blisters, that is a lack of calcium. So that means you need high calcium plus the essential fatty acids to actually allow the body to use it. In my world, that's called Cataplex F by standard process. It could also be butter, or it could be tuna omegas, meaning fish oil. Could also supply the essential fatty acids necessary for you to actually absorb the amount of calcium that you need. So, yeah. I don't actually recommend L-lysine or anything else that like that. I don't usually work with those things. So again, support detoxification, because if the skin is showing something, it's trying to get things out. So support detox, support the liver, and also make sure you're getting enough calcium and the essential fatty acids for the body to use the calcium. Again, in my world, we call that calcium lactate. That's a standard process. It's not available in Europe, so we'd have to look for something else. I hope that's helpful. All right. Let's go here. Hi, Claude. Okay. I bloat every time I have my cup of meat stock. Excellent. One more thing I didn't add. That makes number 5. Die off from meat stock. How about die off from egg yolks? Yes. Die off from any of those. Die off from liver. Die off from meat stock. Die off from egg yolks. Know, folks, that you can have die off from all of those foods. And yes, it can look like bloating. Okay. I bloat right after drinking it within the first few minutes, so I assume the stock is still in the stomach, not yet in the intestines. I have tried HCl with no success. What could this be? Die off from meat stock. I would suggest... Is it every kind of meat stock, or just a certain meat stock, like it's always chicken, it's always beef, or is it every meat stock? That would be an interesting thought to find out, to do a little more discernment investigation here. Let's see what else. Yeah. I would also work with bitters prior to the meal. Yeah, but I'd love to know. Did you just put that in there, Claude? All right, Claude, let me know what kind of meat stock we're talking about, or all meat stock. All right, Vicky. For full and advanced gaps, best way to make cheese from raw milk goat. What about Chev? Many thanks. Chev is soft. So I would go to, I think I put this somewhere. Yeah, fabulous. Full and advanced gaps. You need to talk to Sandy, who's right below you, Sandy King. She is our cheese maker. I would look at David Asher's book, Natural Cheese Making, and go from there. Remember that the first cheeses that we introduce are long-aged cheeses, 6 months or longer, like a cheddar or a Parmesan, which of course you can't make because you're not in Italy. Anyway, so I would look there. Chev is so what we're looking for with cheese, folks, we're always bringing in the hard cheeses, the aged cheeses first. Why? Because hard and aged cheese is lower in lactose. All right. Sandy says, my skin eruption stopped when I started doing the coffee enemas. Yes! Coffee enemas are excellent ways to support the liver in detoxification. Also, castor oil packs on the liver. Helps. And now is the time. You're in the spring, folks. This is liver time. All right. Rebecca asks, oh, I only do chicken meat stock. Come on, Claude. Let's go do beef meat stock. And let's do, what else? Let's do some beef meat stock. Let's do some lamb meat stock. Let's do some goat meat stock. Let's do some pork meat stock. Everybody. Chickens are great, but they're not like you. Chickens are wonderful to make meat stock from, but they are birds. You are a mammal. So the amino acid profile of what you're eating is going to be different. So I really suggest that you try something other than a bird, Claude, and go from there. Okay, let's go see Rebecca. Are floating stools always a sign that something is off? Feel like I'm seeing different info on this. I thought a floating stool might be a sign of a liver issue or possibly not properly digesting fats. Whether the stool sinks or floats depends on its density, which in turn depends on the mixture of food eaten. Could you give me your thoughts? Yes, floating stools, in my understanding, have to do with whether or not you are digesting fats easily and well. Your stools should sink. But don't worry. Remember, I think I did, oh my God, I'm remembering now. I think I did one of these videos called Poop Clues. See my poop clues. Go look up poop clues. I have lots on poop clues in that video. I thought it was kind of a funny little name to name it. So go ahead and look at poop clues. It's on my Facebook on this page, but certainly on my YouTube page called Ask the Gap Chef. So check it out. Lots of info on floating stools, dark, light, PC, pebbly, rabbit poop, blah, 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 how much you're doing, etc., etc. So yeah, check that out. Yes, and of course, just go ahead and check that out. Rebecca and everyone else, Poop Clues. It's a good one. Fish meat stock. Yes, Jody, good to see you. I get sick from the taste of lamb, and when I tried beef, it was too high in histamine. Oh boy, everybody. Okay, one more time with feeling. I know I have fabulous friends, colleagues, people that have really, really high, big difficulty with histamine. And then the rest of us just have a little problem. So please be sure, and this may be you, Claude, and that's fine, but please, folks, don't be afraid of histamine unless it's something that knocks you out, which it does do for some people. But the majority of people really can handle histamine. If that changes, we're really going to be in trouble, meaning we're really much sicker as a population than we're already sick. But remember that there are things that you can do to keep histamine down. Histamine increases with the age of the food, of any food except for ferments. Histamine decreases over time for fermented foods like sauerkraut, etc. So I would suggest that you know, unless you're already doing these things like cook the meat stock, eat the meat stock the same day, or cook and then freeze immediately what you don't use, and then you can also cook from frozen. All those things will help keep histamine levels down. Lamb and beef are strong flavors, but they're also very potent meat stock. So even if you could get just a little bit in, this is the word according to Monica now. I would rather see someone get, a half a cup of beef stock in than 6 cups of chicken. Just try it. You're welcome, Rebecca. Just try it. Yes, try fish, try pork, unless you don't eat pork, etc. Try all these things. All right, I'm going back up. Let's see. Jody says, hello, Jody. I have a large bottle, 48 ounces of GT Kombucha Guava. Yeah. It's been on my counter for 2 weeks. It still fizzes when I try to open it. I thought all the fizzy was supposed to be gone before I could drink it. GT Kombucha Guava is very high in sugar. So yeah, 2 weeks. What you might want to do, Jody, is portion it out into 2 or 3 jars. Yeah. It may be the volume in the bottle that's making it take so long to die down in terms of fizziness, right? The fizz has to do with the fact that the microbes are still eating the sugar and they're giving off lactic acid. That's the fizz. So that means that thing's very high in sugar. So keep it going. Keep it going out there. You're welcome, Claude. All right. Let's go back up here. We're going back to question number 2. A client of mine is having doubts about the GAPS diet. I'm sorry. Doubts are okay. Although we shouldn't do anything if we're not in alignment with what we're doing. He thinks that his difficulty digesting fats on which the GAPS diet is based may not be appropriate diet for him. Okay, everyone, if you have any issues about fats and GAPS, you have any questions about it or worries about it, go back and read the yellow and the blue book. Dr. Natasha is very clear about the digestion of fats and that the body will get used to digesting fats over time. And that just the introduction of fats, even if it's a teaspoon, a half a teaspoon, a drop, a little bit at a time, just working with the body slowly in the amount that is helpful for your client, so or your person or you. Many, sadly, most people that come to GAPS have not been eating fat. They've not been eating animal fat, they haven't been eating tallow and lard and butter, and they haven't been eating enough of it. And so I don't want to say the mechanism is just a little bit rusty, right? So we need to re-educate the body, get it used to the fats, get the gallbladder used to, right, releasing the bile, get the liver used to the need for more bile, the need for more bile production. So remember, there are tools on the GAPS diet for digesting fats. The first tool is increasing the amount of fat in the diet slowly. The second tool is the GAPS shakes, which help the body, the liver, I'll say it differently. They help to thin the bile, which helps the body to digest the fats. So usually when we have problems with the digestion of fats, we're pointing to a sluggish liver and a gallbladder that may be a little bit congested. Maybe. That's fine. Beet kvass, beets, eating beets, beet greens, lemon in the water every day, continuing to bring in different fats slowly. We are re-educating the digestive system. We are re-educating the liver and the gallbladder. We are getting the body used to having fats in the diet. So, yeah, I would just really try to do some education, Monica and everyone else, about fats. And the other thing is, folks, fats are the answer. You know, Dr. Natasha says it all the time. If there's a problem, they need more fat. If it has to do with hormones, they need more fat. If it has to do with brain function, they need more fat. If it has to do with constipation, they need more fat. If it has to do with anything, adrenals, they need more fat, right? So fat. We need the fat. We're not used to the fat. People are afraid of fat. People are worried about fat. The whole diet heart hypothesis, which is ridiculous, is all about too much saturated fat will kill you, and that's all just, Oh, I'm thinking of a silly word, but I'll say bunk. It's all bunk. So I would just go ahead and look at that. Look at that and try to work with whoever it is that's afraid of fat and let them know that GAPS is built to help people to digest fat. Yeah. All right, let's go here. Claude, you're welcome, Vicky. Good to have you. All right, Claude, go back to the blue book and read No Plant GAPS. Dr. Natasha is really clear about why to stay away from beef. However, let me go back to this. So Two things. One, in general, beef has been I hate to say over farmed, over raised, poor things, throughout the Western world. And so, you know, beef is difficult, can be difficult. Some people can handle beef, so see if you can. I also would take a look at a colleague of mine, a colleague of mine's No Plant Gaps masterclass. Her name is Monica Holland, Monika. She has written a masterclass on no plant gaps. So take a look at that. I am going to have her on the Facebook Live in a couple of weeks. I will announce that so you can ask her all the questions you want about no plant gaps. Totally fun to do a little bit of. Rebecca says, you have such a wealth of knowledge and yet you explain things in such an understandable way. I'm so glad, Rebecca. Thank you. Your help is so inspirational and encouraging. That's what it's meant to be. Thank you for making your deep knowledge available to so many. So thankful for your generosity. You're welcome, Rebecca and all. It is my joy. I just want people to feel better. So the more information I can get out there, the happier I am, and I'm thrilled to be here with you. All right. Let's see. So sorry to ask again, why is beef stock so much more healing than chicken stock? No. No efforts are in vain, Claude or anyone else. No efforts are in vain. Every effort is wonderful and good. I'm just saying that most people start with chicken meat stock, because it's mild. It's mild flavored. It's mild on the digestion. Cool. But, just like everything else, you got to mix it up. When I work with people, I like to suggest to them that they mix up their fats. Just like you don't only want to be eating butter and ghee all the time, folks. We want you eating tallow and lard, lamb tallow, bison tallow, beef tallow, lard, ghee, coconut oil, fish oil, duck fat, chicken fat. Mix it up. It's really important. Every single thing. There's no one thing that's going to be the answer. Right? And there's no one thing that's exactly the same. Chicken is different than turkey, is different than quail, is different than any other bird. Beef is different than bison, is different than, even within beef, we know there's different beef. So, when we do things mono, like we're just always, like I remember stories from years ago. All I ever eat is olive oil. And boy, I'm so fat. Well, I mean, this is just a small snippet of a story, but you need to be giving the body other fats. I mean, each fat has its own profile, right? Some are more saturated, some are less. Olive oil happens to be monounsaturated. So, mix it up. Mix it up, everyone. Mix it up. Go for variety. You don't want your body bored. It's kind of a joke, really. And again, that's not to say that some people don't do well on a mono diet. For example, a fast of just raw milk. If you ever get there, raw milk is not a GAPS diet food unless it's cultured, as you all know, until at least 2 years on the diet because of the lactose content. But there are mono diets that people can do. But in general, on GAPS, we want you mixing it up. Mix it up. All right. You're welcome, Claude. Rock and roll. Hey, we got a question from Leonie. Here we go. I get my beef non-aged from a highly specialized supplier that has only happy beef from regenerative farms. You have to find the quality suppliers. Yes. Primal Meats in the UK. Expensive but great. Excellent. Well, and the other thing is, thank you for sharing that. The other thing, too, folks, is that the cleaner the food, and the more nutrient dense food you eat, the less you have to eat. Usually, unless you're really malnourished, right? You are welcome, Monica. All right. Let's go this way. La 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 la. Moving on, moving on. Looking up, looking up. I'm going up. I am going up. Oh, Kathleen has a question. Hi, Kathleen. All right. Most common gaps related reason for pain in a child's leg: hamstring area, no physical injury. I think it must be food gut related. Can constipation cause leg aches? Is your child constipated? If so, let's look at all the videos I've done on poop and constipation. I know you are, Kathleen. But thinking, that's why my eyes are closed. I think better with my eyes closed. Constipation, leg cramps. Muscle cramps, in my experience, one more time, is a calcium issue. The child needs more. Try this. See if it works. Try more fatty acids. If your child on GAPS is having beautiful, fabulous, amazing, delicious, la 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 la, cultured dairy, which he, of course, should be having, I think it's a he, or the child is having, then you probably need more fat in order to get the calcium into the bones and out of the bloodstream, which would cause the Charlie horse. Charlie horse is a cramp, leg cramp. Yeah? So make sure they're on fish oil and they're having enough essential fatty acids. It's my best thought. All right, went there. All right, here's another one from Monica Nava. A client of mine on intro GAPS diet, extended stage 2, started to take oregano oil, herbal antibiotic, allium, blah, 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 and sodium tetraborate to treat SIBO. Yeah, how should they be taking? I have no idea. I don't work with these things, so I can't really advise. When taking herbal antibiotics, should the juices from fermented vegetables be removed? Should only dairy ferments be taken? Yeah. So, SIBO. SIBO and GAP, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. Thinking. I haven't worked with those, Monica, so I can't really comment on that. Really good questions. Yeah. I would work with, that person, anyone who's working with herbals as antimicrobials should be working with a naturopathic doctor or someone else who can advise. I cannot advise. Yeah. I cannot advise. And yeah, I would find someone who does know the answer and work with them. That's the best I've got. In terms of SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. So one of the things that I might do, regardless of those things, is I personally, and as a GAPS practitioner, I would be focusing on yeast. I would be focusing on bringing in yeast. I would be bringing in kefir and vegetable medley and kefir cream. That's where I would go. More than anything else, I would do that. That's my best. Yeah, anything that's fermented with beneficial yeast, I would say would be a go. Yeah. Yes, stomach acid is the key to fix SIBO. Go. So yeah. So check. That's a really good thought. Leonie threw that in there. I'm sure you've checked this person's stomach acid, and I would make sure that it is high enough. Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm not sorry I'm thinking, but I'm sorry I'm taking a pause. Okay. Remember that the digestive tract is acidic and alkaline in different areas, right? So the stomach needs to be high acid to break down proteins. And to turn on the rest of the enzymes, the duodenum, where the food is dumped into from the stomach, is very highly alkaline and then gets acidic again. So I would be looking at which microbes live in well, all the pathogens live in alkaline environments, folks. So, yeah. Tell us more about the patch you put on the liver. Yes, castor oil. Yep, I can do that in just a minute. Let me just check and make sure I got all that. I think I got everything. I don't know. Here we go. All right. Go away. Okay, last thing we've got here. We've got, hold on. Tell us a bit more about the patch you put on the liver. Castor oil. C-A-S-T-O-R. Hold on. C-A-S-T-O-R oil. Boom. All right. Castor oil. Yeah? Castor oil is what you put on the liver. You can just get, first of all, backing up, get organic castor oil. It's from the castor bean. Make sure it's in a glass bottle, dark colored, because all oils go rancid in light, right? So we're going to keep the castor oil for a little while, so make sure it's in a dark brown glass bottle. Very important. Organic, dark brown glass bottle. Keep it in a cool, dark place. First, start with your castor oil. I like to suggest that people start with just putting a little bit, rubbing it on the liver, just a little bit every night before you go to bed. Then get the castor oil pack, which is a flannel. You can buy the ones that tie around your body so you can wear it all night long. And yeah, I would go to look at the podcast that Dr. Tom Cowan did with Dr. Marisol. I don't remember her last name. She is the now naturopathic doctor who started the Queen of the Thrones. I think that's what you call it. Castor oil pack. Castor oil company, because she really healed herself by using those overnight, every night, for like ever. All right. I will put that link on this page. All right, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and go. It's been a wonderful time to be with you. I hope this was helpful. Pardon me. I hope this was helpful to you. We will be here new time. Just mark it on your calendar. Tuesdays, 12:15 Mountain Time. I have a staff meeting before then, so I won't be able to do the 11:30 thing any longer. 12:15 Mountain Time, I will be here. Always a joy to have you with us. Yes, Leonie and everyone else, thank you for being here. Blessings to you and your families and everyone that you're working with on GAPS. And yeah. Just remember, no worrying. Small, doable steps. Pick one thing to do differently and focus there. Yeah. Okay. Lots of love to everyone. Yep. Take good care, everyone. And we'll see you next week. Same GAPS time. Same GAPS channel. Bye now.